It's good morning, Belinda Lyons-Lee. Welcome to Yellow Shelf for the first time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Joe.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Belinda, today is launch book day, and I have you here right on Yellow Shelf, and I also have a copy of the book, The
You do.
Haunting of Mr. and Mrs. Stevenson. Congratulations, your second book.
Thank you. It is my second book. Thank you. A couple of years gap in between where I had all systems firing and was extremely productive, obviously, because that's what we've got today.
Oh, look, that's awesome. Your book, what do we need to know? Tell us all about it.
Okay, so The Haunting of Mr. and Mrs. Stevenson is written in the first person voice of Fanny Stevenson, who was the wife of Robert Louis Stevenson. And the story follows her account and their involvement in the real life murder mystery that, together with a haunted wardrobe and some drugs and some hallucinations and a seance,
Yeah.
all inspired Robert Louis Stevenson to write The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Simultaneously, Fanny Stevenson, who was also an author and a writer, as well as an accomplished painter, writes her own short story called The Warlock's Shadow. Did in real life as well.
And Belinda, I mentioned it's your second published work. Your first book was out, was it 2021 roundabout?
Yes, it was. It was
Yeah.
2021. That was called Tussaud,
Just,
and that
yeah.
was historical fiction based on Madame Tussaud of the famous waxworks all across the world. And her partnership, a very unlikely partnership that she formed with a German stage magician to put on these Victorian 19th century sensationalist shows of wax automatons and all sorts of creepy but incredibly interesting events. So, yes, that was in 2021. And here we are today with The Haunting of Mr. and Mrs. Stevenson.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I'm wondering, I mean, this is described as like gothic mystery. Tell us about the
Yes.
inspiration for writing the book.
Yes, it is a gothic mystery and it's a bit genre bend. Let me just say that again, genre bending in that
Yeah.
respect, in
Yeah.
that it is a murder mystery. It does have the very strong gothic flavors and overtones. Um, the inspiration fits really nicely into that because it was the wardrobe, it was the haunted wardrobe that first, and I use this phrase, called to me, so to speak. I was investigating Jekyll and Hyde and the origins of that story because I'd referred to it in another manuscript that I was writing.
Yeah.
And I've always loved Jekyll and Hyde. And I really wanted to know a little bit more about the backstory and, in particular, about Louis Stevenson.
Yeah.
And when I started reading, that his life was interesting. However, there was a photo that flashed up of this wardrobe.
Yeah.
And when I began to look at the wardrobe and read Louis's account that from a child into his adulthood and until he died, he insisted that that wardrobe was haunted. It was a family heirloom. It had been in his family for many, many generations, and it had been built by the infamous Scottish criminal Deacon Brodie, who lived nearly a century before. And so when I began to look at the photo of that wardrobe, I just thought, oh, this is ticking some big boxes for me. We've got the 19th century, we've got Edinburgh, we've got a writer, we've got a haunted wardrobe. What else is there? And then when I began to read about Fanny Stevenson, his wife, she was an American woman. She was 10 years older than him. When she first met Louis Stevenson at an artist colony in France, she was on her third attempt of trying to leave her husband back in
Wow.
America. He was a philanderer, a chronic alcoholic,
Mm.
and did not treat her very well. So she had three children with him. She spent a lot of her time trailing up and down mountains and beside rivers and streams while he mined. And she learned how to use a revolver there. She faced
Wow.
incredible physical dangers, not just with the weather and the elements and bears, but as well as being a woman on her own, having to defend herself against men who would take advantage of that situation. So when she met Louis at an artist colony in Paris, and I'll refer to him as Louis because it's just a mouthful to keep saying Robert Louis Stevenson the whole time. And Fanny called him Louis, and most of his friends called him Louis. When she met him over there, it was a recognition of two souls. I think they were very different to each other in very obvious ways, but they also had such a kinship around the creative expression of writing
Yeah.
and what that meant to them, incredibly passionate people. So the story is of their marriage and their romance, but the really it's the coming together of two people trying to work out some of these bigger questions about life that Louis goes through with Jekyll and Hyde. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to feel pushed and pulled and have this constant tension within yourself? What does it mean to make decisions that are either going to sort of play into the wicked nature or
Yeah.
uphold the virtuous and good nature? So yes, that's some
Yay.
of the inspiration, yeah, for that.
Awesome. Ah, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. Belinda, if we're curious, if we're watching, we're curious about the book, we're curious about connecting with you. I know you have a website. I follow you on Instagram.
Yes.
I will put it in the
Great.
show notes, but what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, definitely on Instagram. That's my favorite platform there. So I post things up there fairly regularly. The website's got some more detailed information, obviously, and also my email. If people want to connect through that, people can jump on that and fill in their email form. Yeah,
Awesome. Well, listen, you enjoy the journey of the book. I know it's busy times
thank
ahead,
you.
launch, lots of interviews. Belinda, would you write again? Is there more future
Oh,
books?
it's just yes, yes, yes for all of those questions. Yes, I would write again because I am writing again, and there's
Yay.
plenty more where this is coming from. So yes, thank you for asking.
Ah, look, and I'm hoping it's a yes that you'll come back to Yellow Shelf and share any future books as well.
Mm. So lovely to chat with you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye.